Hello everyone! So, as everyone knows, like the last few months have been kind of hard with this coronavirus pandemic has been a little rough on everyone. But I'm trying to stay positive and look on the bright side of things and acknowledge that I've been gifted a lot of free time in the last few months to do things that I normally wouldn't otherwise be able to do, and to pick up a lot of my favorite hobbies that I did in the past. And one of those things is crocheting. Something I do on and off, but I don't do a lot of it. And it's been a really great way to just kind of relax and have some fun time. And it's also a great way to make gifts for people for Christmas. And so today I'm going to show you how to make snowflakes out of crochet thread. I know that some of you may be thinking, I can't do this, but I know you can. So let's get going. So first things first is we need to make a slip knot, and this is how I do it. I just take my string, I wrap it around, and then I pull the string over a second time, and then this loop I pull up until I get a knot that's fairly tight. Then I bring in my hook and I pull down until it wraps comfortably around. Cool. Now we're gonna fill start our first round. Sorry, I'm like stuttering over here. And that is by just chaining 6. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6, there we go, and then we're going to slip stitch into the first chain, pull through like so to make a circle. Okay, now this next part's kind of tricky because this little thing right here wobbles around. Oops, the camera almost fell over. You don't necessarily, you could just leave it free, hanging out like so. It's a little bit easier. What I like to do is as I crochet around the second round, I like to have it tucked in. So I'm going to show you how to do that. It just looks cleaner in the end. So to start the next round, we're going to chain 1. Now this chain counts as a single crochet stitch. Then what we're going to do is chain 11 around a circle. So we've got 1, 2, and then to finish off the round, we need to slip stitch into the first chain. It's a little tight. There we go. That we counted as our first single crochet. And just slip stitch like so. Voila! Okay, now it's time to do the second round. And in order to do that, we need to start with a chain 1 that will count. It will function as a single crochet. And then you'll see that as you go around, you see all of the little openings that we have at the top of each of the single crochets that we did in the first round. And that's where we're going to put in our next stitches. So for round 2, what we will do is the following pattern. So in the first single crochet that you see, we're going to put in a single crochet like so. Then we will chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then in the next stitch, we're going to put in a single crochet. Okay. So you're just going to repeat this single crochet, chain 3, single crochet all the way around. All the way around the circle until we get to the end, and you'll end with a single crochet. And once we get there, I will show you what to do, okay? All right, as you can see, we've ended with our single crochet in the 11th stitch. And so far we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 holes where we did a chain of 3, okay? So in order to finish off this round, we need to do a chain of 3 and then slip stitch into the very first stitch, which if you remember is actually a chain, so it's gonna be a little tight. So we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, okay? And then the very first chain, the very first stitch, which is a chain, is right there. And we just need to pull it through and slip stitch. And there we have it. We have finished the second round. All right, to start the third round and the final round, we're going to begin like we did the others with just a chain, okay? In the single crochet below, we're going to put in another single crochet. Now we have this opening, this hole, where we did a chain of 3. So in here, we're going to do 1 single crochet, okay? Now this is the tricky part. It's going to take a bit of time to do this because we're going to build now our first point of the snowflake. So in order to do this, we need to chain 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay? And in the second chain, we're going to slip stitch to make what's called a picot, this little ball. Chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay? We're going to slip stitch in the second chain to form a second picot. And then that could be, I could be mispronouncing that, it's spelled P-I-C-O-T. My French pronunciation wants to say picot, it could be picket. Actually now that I think that's probably picket, whatever. Chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to again slip stitch in the second chain. And we're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. This time we're going to slip stitch in the very first chain. Change it up a little bit. Repeat that last step. So chain 4, 3, 4, slip stitch in the first. Voila. So at this point we're gonna have 3 pickets, picot, whatever the hell it's called. And you'll notice that, just pull on this a little bit so I don't lose it. You'll notice that we have chain, picot, chain, picot, chain, picot, 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 without chains in between. They're direct. So this is where it gets really tricky. Remember, this right here was the first chain of 5. This was the first chain of 6, and this was the first chain of 7 before we did a slip stitch to make the pickets, the picots, okay? So, this is where it gets tricky. Once we finish these 2 chain of 4s, slip stitch in the first chain, we're going to then slip stitch into the first chain of 5 and close it off. It's going to start to wrap around, okay? Then we're going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like so. We're still slip stitching into the first chain, so go ahead and do that. We're going to make an additional picot, picket, whatever the hell it's called. And then we're going to slip stitch then into the first of 6, which is between the first 2 picots, like so. And then we're going to chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, slip stitch into the first of 6, and then slip stitch into the first of 7, like so. And there we have it, folks, our first point of the snowflake. In order to continue, we must finish the point by doing one last single crochet in the chain of 3, like so. Okay. And then if you look, we have 2 single crochets next, 2 single crochet stitches. So we're going to put 1 single crochet in each of those. Alrighty, like so. And then we're going to put 1 single crochet in the chain of 3, and we're going to build our second point. So I've just finished the last point of the snowflake, and like we did in all the other ones, we're going to do our second single crochet in the chain of 3. And then the last thing to do is to finish it off with a slip stitch. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the very first stitch of the round, which is a chain. It's going to be a little tight like it was before, and it is right here. Push it through, pull, and then slip stitch. And there we go. And I always just give it one more slip stitch, like so. And then you can just cut with the scissors, and then pull tightly. And there we have it. We have our snowflake all finished. What do you know? Yay! Now you know how to make a snowflake out of crochet. Just so you guys know, for this one right here, this white one, it's pretty small. Yeah, it's really tight stitching. I used size 3 crochet thread. You can get in a variety of colors, or white, and I used a 2.25 millimeter hook. However, if you are new to crochet, or you don't have that at home, you can also use just yarn. It's going to be a lot bigger because it's thicker, but it does work. When you're finished, all you have to do is soak your snowflake or snowflakes in a solution that is equal parts liquid starch and water, and then spread it out. You might need to use some pins to hold it in place on a piece of cardboard, but then after that you just let it air dry until it's completely dry, and then you can take it off and you've got it. Bye!